was sharing. Remember, not all masters have attained the same level of experiences. But every master who has followed this path of going within and discovering the truth has considered that they have found Sachkhand, their true home. And the reason for that is very simple. Every level above this level looks like the final destination. People who meditate here and go to the astral plane, the ethereal plane, all the heavens of the world that have been described exist there. When they reach heaven, they think that's it. How can you go beyond heaven? From earth, we have been told again and again, you rise in time where heavens exist. They all recognize it's the origin of the experiences that we have here. All that is fulfilled there. There is no reason for a person reaching there not to believe that is Sachkhand. That is the ultimate place we have to go to. There is nobody to tell them. If a master himself has reached that point, and he's teaching people how to reach their true home, he will lead them to that level, take them to one of the best heavens there. One of them we call Vaikunt, so beautiful and so full of adventures within itself. It can create experiences like you're moving from one stage to another in consciousness within that heaven. And yet it is just part of the astral plane, which according to perfect living masters is only the first level of realization of a higher world. Therefore, those masters still think that taking you into a heaven like that is fulfilling your journey and taking you back into Sachkhand. Those who pursue this further and use their mind to its capacity, the Advaita masters, who say there is no duality, everything has originated from one universal mind. And they follow that. When they are able to find that the astral plane is only a plane of sensory perceptions, it has the same similar experiences of senses that we have here, only the senses are sharpened. And they want to go beyond that where no sense perceptions are needed for perception. Through the mind they can go to a mental state of universality, where they can feel that there's only one mind which was divided into so many. And we became the many because of the universal mind. They take you to the top of the universal mind and take you beyond sense perceptions, where all perceptions combine to be one. And they call it Sachkhand, the true home and the ultimate reality. It looks absolutely normal. For them who are pursuing their action with struggle, with the mental efforts, for them that is their Sachkhand. They have reached the universal mind. They do not distinguish between the soul or the mind. They think it's a combined force. That the soul and mind combine to think and take us where we want to go. There's no distinction between the two. What is lacking in these two levels of masters is they never emphasize the importance of love and intuition. They emphasize the importance of our kriya, of our own efforts. They emphasize mental effort. They emphasize the results of reaching levels of awareness which go beyond this level and which go beyond perceptions, but they end up with the discovering more and more of your own mind. Ultimately, the ultimate source of the mind. It's a copy. The mind, universal mind, is a copy of the totality of consciousness from where souls emerge. The souls transcend all above the mind, but they come down and attach themselves to the mind at the causal plane. All things are caused there. So there is no wonder a master or a disciple who reaches there thinks that is Sachkhand. This is the end of the journey. He discovered it. There are very few perfect living masters, very few can be counted on the fingers of your hands, who have ever come and said, the mind is not the ultimate. Even the universal mind is a roadblock to your discovery of yourself. Yourself is totality of consciousness. It is beyond the mind. It is beyond time and space. It's beyond the creator of time and space. is beyond the creator of these worlds, of the three worlds. And our true home is beyond all this. These worlds last for a certain time, and a dissolution comes, dissolving the first level. A grand dissolution comes, dissolving the top level. And yet you are there. The true home is never dissolved. It's always there. So it's beyond the realm of the mind. These perfect living masters take us beyond the mind and show us the power of love. Because nothing can take us above, no meditation can take us above the causal region of consciousness. Only love and devotion can take us there. The only thing that can pull us above the mind is something that is not the mind. That is love and devotion. Love and devotion pulls us. Their unconditional love pulls us. That is true love that pulls us. Our devotion is a response to that. And we are pulled out of this and taken to Par Brahm. We ourselves recognize it. Brahm, the creating power, is Par that, is Par Brahm, is beyond that. Beyond Brahm, we describe it as like that. Where for the first time we find what the soul is like. First time we discover who we are. And we discover the self. And those masters, we call them perfect living masters. But they are higher than those also. These are perfect living masters that can take us to immortal soul. They take us to immortality. They take us beyond time. Yet, they only show us our soul. They show us what we really are. They make us discover ourselves. But they don't show that our soul is also not a reality. It's a created illusion from the totality of consciousness, that we belong to totality of consciousness. Our true home is where we are one. There are no separate souls even. Those are perfect living masters whom we call Satgurus, the masters of truth. The others we call them, those who have reached the Parbrahm level, Sadgurus, masters who have become sadhus or realize their truth, true self. So these masters who realize their true self are Sadgurus. The ones who take us to totality are Satgurus. Truthfully, every place looks like Sachkhand, looks like our true home. Supposing in our life we have great earnest desire to go to our true home, and a master appears. As we keep on saying, when a chela is ready, the guru appears. A chela is ready, a guru appears. But he is a guru who takes you to the first or second stage, does not take you beyond. You follow that guru and you go to that stage and have great enjoyment, having realized the truth, realized this world is not real, the higher worlds, and you go to the top of the creation of the three worlds. Then what happens? If you are a seeker of more than that, first of all, you will feel more lonely than ever before. You will feel, your soul will feel lonely because the soul has not met its destination. The mind has met its destination. The mind will be satisfied. The soul will long for something more. When that happens, your soul is longing for more in spite of the fact that a master has helped you so much. A perfect living master from beyond the mind will come into your life and take you ahead. This is such a beautiful arrangement we have made for ourselves, that if we are seekers of something, we find it. Whatever we seek, we find. Whatever we seek with no doubt in our minds, we find. Therefore, when we seek only halfway, we get halfway. When we seek worldly things, we get worldly things. When we seek internal happiness, we get internal happiness. When we want just peace of mind, we get peace of mind. When we want higher awareness, we get higher awareness. When the soul wants to go to the absolute highest truth, the ultimate truth, a perfect living master will come in the life of the soul when the soul is ready and take it back to the true home, to totality of consciousness. When I explained this point at one time long ago, a friend of mine in the audience got up. He said, the way you are describing, it looks that we can keep on being deceived that this is the last stage. How do you know you are not deceived? That what you call totality of consciousness is the last stage, there may be more. I said, indeed, there are more. I am only saying that that is where you discover that the Oneness of consciousness is creating everything. I am not ending the game there, nor have other people. There are some people who have said there are levels of experiences beyond that. Swamiji of Agra, who was the master of Jamal Singh, who was the master of my master, he emphasized the importance of going to Sachkhand, which is totality of consciousness, at the fifth level of consciousness. But his own disciple, a postmaster general, retired in UP, Uttar Pradesh, Rai Saligram, who was asked by Swamiji to carry on his work, amongst some others. He said there are stages even beyond, but they are not meant for the individuated soul. Because the individuated soul, when it merges with totality, it becomes total. So there's nothing for a soul to go ahead beyond totality. But totality can have experiences beyond what we are talking about. He named 3 kinds of experiences, even beyond Sachkhand, beyond the true home. He said there is an experience which there is no description available, because we are talking of things beyond time, space, beyond causation, beyond past, present, future, beyond all the normal things we can understand. But he still described that there are stages which he called alak, beyond Sachkhand, alak, which means cannot be described, cannot be lakhya, or cannot be written, cannot be described. Agam, which cannot be known. And finally, the 8th stage, anami, cannot even be named. So all he's saying is these stages are beyond description. Why are these stages being mentioned? Because totality of consciousness is preparing a framework of creation, preparing a creation that we are experiencing right here. Where does it prepare that framework of creation? Those modes through which the totality of consciousness prepares that framework, creating darkness and light, creating dissolutions and non-dissolutions, creating permanence and impermanence. Those are the states of totality that it experiences, and therefore you might call them higher levels, or you might call them functions of totality of consciousness. But it doesn't matter. It's not the number that counts. Some people say, have you reached 5th stage or 8th stage? I said, I think I've reached the 1st stage. I think I've reached the stage where I understood that the master's love is the only thing. I understood that love can pull me to any stage, 8th, 9th, 10th, whichever exists. You can experience 1,000 stages in the astral plane itself. In the astral plane, there is such a variety of experiences, but they all are similar to the experiences we have here. They're easily understandable. Easily mind can grasp them, we can describe them, and they have been described as heavens. Big descriptions exist in the scriptures of heavens, and that is what they are. You can keep on feeling you have gone to several stages in one stage itself. But when a perfect living master takes you to the highest, he takes you because your seeking is for the highest. People say, I want to be initiated by a perfect living master, not a master, lower category. I tell them, don't worry. It's in your hands. It's in your seeking that you will get whichever master you want. If a particular master comes into your life, he does his job, and then you go to the next, for the next master's job. It's like going to school. If a child goes to elementary school, to primary school, he says, no, my elder cousin goes to college and there's a PhD teaching that. I don't want to be taught by these teachers. I want a PhD. They'll say, but first you have to go through this course. One day you'll get a PhD also. The same thing holds true here. We have been roaming around so long in this created universe that if we find somebody who can give us the right direction, it's good. Even if we go nowhere but in the right direction, at least we won't go far away. If there are masters who are telling us, go to that river and have dip and you'll get something. If masters are telling us the reality is sitting on top of that mountain. If somebody says, go to Tibet and on the Tibetan mountain the masters are helping you. If people are pointing to outward things, they are giving us a wrong direction. There is no truth outside of us. But if a master who is not competent to take us anywhere, says the truth is inside, he's done a good job. At least he's pointed us to the right direction. And if a master can take us one step, very good. We were not even one step inside. He's taken us there. It's our seeking that will then take us further beyond that. Therefore, the secret is seek, and you will find. You have to seek to find. The seeking should never stop. People should never feel, if you're not satisfied inside with any amount of teaching, any amount of experience, the seeking is still there for more, keep on seeking. If you seek, it is not your job to find the master. A perfect living master will come into your life to take you to the point where you are seeking. Therefore, it's good to remember that people sometimes get a little concerned about it. I don't know if my master is perfect or not. I don't know if that master is perfect. And I tell them, well, whichever master is pulling you with his love, go. One man wrote to me. He said, tell me a real good test. There are so many masters today. Give me a real test. Which one should I follow? I said, whichever one pulls you with his unconditional love, follow that master. Don't worry about anything else. He said, there are two masters. Both pull me equally. I said, you are very lucky. We can't find one. You found two already. So follow anyone. One should not get tied down his argument in the head. Oh, which master should I follow? There are so many masters. Of course we know that for every master, every perfect living master who walks upon this earth, and there are so few of them, there are so many others in the same area who are not masters, but pretend to be masters. They're fake masters. Great master used to say, for every perfect living master, in the very area where that perfect living master is operating, we will let at least 11 or 12 fake masters looking more real than the master who's real. So therefore, don't worry about this. See what your inside soul is saying. See what your soul is seeking. See where it wants to go, where you are pulled. See when you meet people, does something pull you? And pull you inside, not on the skin, not in the body, but something deeper inside. Is your soul being pulled somewhere? Associate with that person. Associate and see what happens. If the pull increases and doubts begin to disappear, follow that path. Don't forget, our mind is a great machine. It creates thoughts, but it also creates doubt. It's natural for it to create doubt. It is designed to create doubt. It is designed for a good reason to create doubt. If the mind did not create doubt, we would be so gullible, we'd follow everybody and never find the truth. The doubt, the skepticism of the mind is a good thing. It enables you to discriminate, to see what's pulling you, what is not. You can't do that if the mind did not have doubt and did not take care to remove the doubt. So doubts come up all the time. But when the perfect living master's love comes, doubts begin to melt away. Not all at once, slowly they melt away. And one day you say, I have no doubt, I have had enough experience, both internally and externally, now to accept this is the master. Never worry about it. This is a natural process. Don't worry, my mind is doubting so much. Well, everybody's mind is doubting. I am no exception. I know the mind is built to doubt. But the trouble comes when from doubt comes the next stage, which is fear. Do you know, when you doubt, that's when the fear comes in. The fear is actually a follow-up from doubt. When you doubt, you are afraid. And fear holds us back from our true path more than doubt even. When we are afraid, we don't want to move. So fear has to go away. When the doubts are removed, and that kind of faith without doubt, unshakable faith comes, fear disappears automatically with it. It's such a beautiful experience to be in this world with all its ups and downs and be totally fearless. That's what the path of the masters makes you. Totally fearless, unshakable doubt, and When the masters come and talk to us, you'll never see fear in them. You will see they don't speak from anything except their experience, which they are speaking directly from watching the experience, not remembering their experience. And therefore, there's never any fear, never any doubt. You will notice that when these perfect living masters give us a discourse, there is no maybe or perhaps in their language. They don't say maybe it could be like that, perhaps it might be that. There's no such thing. They are not academic lecturers who studied the subject from books and giving a lecture. They are talking directly from their experience as it is happening to them at that time. So I am making all these points before you because these questions come up before all seekers. They come up. Am I on the right path? Am I being loyal to something, to my religion? Am I being loyal to one master I have? Am I being not faithful? All these questions and fears and doubts come. So you have to rise above these and go with well-known guidelines that this is a spiritual path. It's not a mental path, not a physical path. It's a spiritual path. It's a the spirit, the soul, is seeking its home. The soul is seeking its origin. The soul is wanting to be where it's supposed to be. The soul wants to awaken to its totality. And that is causing you to seek. And allow that seeking to flow and examine it from the pull that you're getting from a master who is an ordinary human being. The difference is in his awareness, not in the rest of his body. He's like an ordinary person. He was born ordinary, will die ordinary, live ordinary, and yet the awareness will be of totality. So therefore, you should follow that, what comes to you. It's a beautiful experience if you follow the spirit. Where is your soul leading you? Where is your spirit leading you? What we sometimes don't know what soul or spirit is, so very often we use other